What is up? It's me, Unboxing Pez. And today, we have a video that is, as my super awesome name would suggest, is of the unboxing variety. I actually have two back-to-back unboxings, and that is because I made a trade. Now, what did I trade? Something that maybe I'll regret in the future, but I'll have to justify somehow. And that is, I traded the Jimpy, the Sentinel. I wasn't planning on trading the Jimpy, but two things were offered. One of them I really wanted to try, and one of them I thought was really cool, and I would love to have flipped it and potentially customize it further to my preferences. At some point, I would like to get something ground by Andrew Myers, but we'll see. Anyways, this will be the first video of two, and what not better to start our unboxing than something by whatever the heck that is. I don't know their brand. Nolobb, maybe? Nolobb? I don't know. But if you have eyes and you can read, I think you know what this is. And also the title of the video. But this is the live Chioni. So let me flip this upside down and pop that out a little bit better. 3D printed case with... What in the world is that? There's like boogers in here, man. What the heck is that about? I wonder if it's just the oil. Okay, so I'm picking it up. This was anodized by, I forgot his name, and that's really disappointing that I forgot his name. Let's see, is this thing sharpened? It is unsharpened. Interesting. But yeah, this is the live blade Chioni. First thing I'm noticing is that it actually has a fair amount of grip. It feels pretty sturdy in the hand, a good weight. There is milling on that blade there. Let me go to autofocus so you guys have a better idea of what's going on here. You can see the milling on that blade is really beautiful. I think for me, I've heard people say that there's a lot of tip weight on this guy, so I'd be tempted to just get rid of this extra material on the tip right here if I got it reground by Andrew Myers. I don't know how that would affect the flipping performance, but yeah, this guy is speed channeled. But you can see that it's got some, it has some dings here and there. Let me see if I can see a clear example of that. There's like one small ding there, and then a pretty sizable scratch here on the top. But all in all, this thing does look really good. It is pinsless. It's got bounce, but it is not the most bouncy. What do I feel on the balance? Honestly, I was expecting more tip weight, or more handle weight when flipping this. The size of the handles is actually quite nice. But the thing I'm noticing is exactly what I kind of anticipated, which is when you're flipping this, the main concentration that you have, the main focus, the thing you feel is the incredible amount of tip weight that is right there. And I think that if you got rid of that, honestly, this thing would be really nimble. It still flips well, and it's actually like surprisingly tight on these chaplains. But it does feel a little laborious to move in a twirl. Like it feels like I'm really trying to get it along on these twirls. And I think part of that is because of that blade weight. I keep trying to do this this thing I got the clip for, but I don't really practice the out as much as I should with the first finger chap. But this thing obviously fans well. With that amount of tip weight, it's going to be really, really even. It has like a very dry feeling in the hand, even though it's titanium. I think that's because of the particular anodization and whatever etchant they used for it. But yeah, I would love to see how this guy flips with the reground, because I think it would honestly flip a little bit more consistently. And honestly, if it's just between you and me, I think it might look a little better too. I've always talked about how I've really adored the slate look. Like if that was just completely gone, I think that would look sick. You know, if it was just like that. I guess you'd have to figure out a way to be creative about the tip here. Maybe if you just did a flat edge, honestly, that'd be pretty sick too. But taking off that weight, I think would bring this into more of a standard balance rather than one that is honestly very unique. Some people might be upset by the fact that I'm considering stripping away one of the, arguably one of the more identifiable aspects of this guy's flipping identity. But my knife. I love the look of it, and I think it'll look really cool. Oh, there you go. If I send it in to Andrew. The handles, again, the thickness is kind of quite nice. It's got a nice chamfering on it, but square handles, lots of feedback that tell you where it is. I will say I don't notice the feel of the speed channels. They're stepped down, which is kind of interesting, but yeah, this thing does flip quite well. But all in all, I am pretty satisfied with it. I don't know how much reground service would cost, especially because I don't think I'm asking for too much. But if I do end up going through with that, I would like to keep you guys along for my experience of doing that. So this is the Chioni. Let's get some oil in here. Some carbon honey thin, I'll go with. So you guys are going into the pit of darkness for the time being while I give this guy a little bit more oil. See if that changes the sound at all. I'm excited about the next product. The next product is by Squid Industries, if that gives you an inclination of what it might be. But as I continue to kind of like work a little bit more oil into this thing, we'll see if it does sound any different. I will say that the ring is not actually that loud, which is good when you're talking about speed channel. It's not like a painful ring either, but this thing does flip, like, despite having so much tip weight, I think it kind of still flips quite well. So there's a little bit of play, but honestly, I think it feels fine. The tolerances aren't like machine-wise or anything like that, but also I think for a smaller maker, these are impressive tolerances nonetheless. And my understanding is that this guy's a beast, like if you wanted to make this a beater, because it is channel titanium. Like obviously it's going to have some weight, but it actually doesn't feel that heavy. I mean, there's quite a few cutouts around this thing, and I'm glad that it is speed channeled because I was worried about, I don't know if they make the live blades that aren't speed channeled, but I was worried about them being a little too heavy. And honestly, I'm a huge fan of speed channels in general because I like ballad songs that are on the lighter spectrum. Yeah, super happy with this guy. I'll give some more in-depth thoughts in the future, but just flipping it right now, man, this thing feels quite smooth. It just kind of goes. Feels a little bit more my preferences, where it's like more neutral, if not a little blade bias. But I would love to feel this guy after it got that remake, because I think in the hands, I want to compare its length to something that's probably standard. Let's get the Kraken up against it. It feels short, and that's because it is. Interesting. You know what's interesting is that the handles are shorter, but the blade is longer, and I don't think you see that often. You can really see how purple this is in the camera compared to this blue Kraken. But the Kraken, it makes it feel like you have a lot more room on the handles to get your tricks done, whereas with this guy, it feels like I'm always flipping at the end of the handles because it it is just shorter. But I was expecting the shortness to be more of a profound thing to notice, but the fact that it took me this long to notice that, it's more of a subtlety than like this super big deal. So that is the Chioni, and that should conclude it for now for this guy, but I'm just going to be filming this back to back for the next one, which I'm super excited about. For those of you who made it to the end and you didn't bother to look at the other video, I'll actually probably post it tomorrow. So if you haven't seen it yet and it's already that day, the sneak peek, the hidden secret is that I'm getting a hydro. The hydro is right next to me. And the hydro is a controversial balance song, but I will talk more about that in that video. So it's been Pez Flips, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.